In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host of this particular program, known here on social media as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snub Nub 7. I am your brother, your soul brother, number one, and your friend, Taalik, Ibn'rad. I would first like to say that one of the most things that I dread, one of the most things that would make me upset as a person, would to be going to my final resting place, having done nothing as a man to help relieve the strain and the stress and help in bringing solution to a people that I belong to who have suffered in a racist nation going on 500 years. As an adult man, as an adult male who claims that he is a protector and a provider of women and children, but yet have done nothing to stem, to bring to a conclusion, to bring to an end this situation that we find ourselves in, and sit back and do absolutely nothing. I understand that me alone as an individual, I cannot do this by myself. During the 1960s and 70s, there were probably 20 to 30, maybe more black people, so-called black people. I call us the people of soul. The word black comes from out of a racist construct. There is no people, dark-skinned people, melanated people on this planet that call themselves black or African. I prefer to call us the people of soul like we did in the 60s and 70s. Thus was created Soul Train. James Brown was the godfather of soul, and Aretha Franklin was the queen of soul. We called ourselves soul brothers and sisters. What we produced in music was soul music. But there seemed to be a preference for black. And that is because since black comes from up out of racist construct, psychologically you become a racist. So whenever you hear black power and black conscience and all this black stuff, if you take the black away and put white, you see there is really no difference, as black is the child of Caucasian or pink racism. So to avoid the race issue, we become the people of soul. And in religious teachings, the soul is what gives the body life. The soul is the essence of life. Isn't that a wonderful description? What's wrong with that? I did not give this to us. This was going on before I was even born. It was an attempt to give us an identity, to give us some kind of pride that belonged only to us. So when you think about the people of soul, although Africans are related to us, they can't claim soul. Those in Nigeria can't claim soul. When you think about the people of soul, there's only one people that you can think about, and that is those who are the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, the people of soul. I truly hope that when I am laid to rest, and we all must die, but you should have some type of purpose, a reason for living, and my reason for living is to help these who are the descendants of slaves born in America come up out of this condition, or at least help towards that goal in the best manner that I know how. And the best manner that I know how is to bring to us reality. No more fantasy and fairy tales. No more spaceships coming out the sky to save us. No more waiting on some dead divine person thousands of years to come save us. We must take the correct and appropriate action in order to save ourselves and create a path to secure our own destiny. But if you don't have vision, if your vision is clouded, or you rely on the vision of someone that no longer exists, and there is nothing creative in your own mental process, then we might as well stop complaining and just be content in being in a condition of a slave. Call yourself free, but we all know deep down inside, although you drive a Mercedes Benz, you have bought your own jet plane, your face is on the TV every day, but when they look in the mirror, they all understand that they come from a people, and we come from a people who are still in a slave-like condition. In fact, you and I are still slaves. We continue to even carry the name of the slave master that we know was forced on us, and we carry that name with pride. This should tell us something. So we all must die. What is your reason for living? And why do you fear death? Death is a part of life. If you have life, you have death. As one is dying, someone is being born. That is the reality of this life. I can admit that I was afraid to die. But I did things in order to clear myself of that fear. So when one of my relatives died, I would reach out to touch that corpse, even kiss that corpse. I would go to a funeral home and look at the bodies. I have VHS tapes talking about death and just looking at it. It's our reality, whether you or I like it or not. And it makes some of us afraid. That's why we cannot make the proper and appropriate moves in order to get rid of this problem that we have as soul people once and for all, because we are afraid. And that's why we stay in the condition. That's how we were brought into this condition. Fear was used. You are afraid. There's nothing wrong with fear, but you cannot become a slave and allow fear to control you. You and I must do what is in the best interest of ourselves. Let us stop being afraid. And if you are afraid, just deal with it. Do what you gotta do. You're scared, but keep moving forward. I was watching this documentary series called Hidden Colors by our brother Taalik Nasheed. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It is a wonderful series of videos. Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, and now you have Hidden Colors 4. My only problem is when our struggle, when your problem becomes entertainment. How many hidden colors do you need? And now that it is no longer hidden, because now you know, what are you going to do now? So Hidden Colors 1 was released. The people are still in the same condition. Number 2 was released, still in the same condition. 3, and so forth. You're still in the same condition, although the information is no longer hidden. You do not know how to act upon or apply the information that you have been receiving, or that information is not appropriate. It is enlightening, but it does nothing to bring a solution to the problem of these who are descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. So Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, and 4, it has become simple entertainment to make you feel better and be more comfortable in your racism. You have become comfortable slaves. Do you want freedom? Or do you just want to be accepted by your 500-year-old enemy's children? You have to make up your mind. If you are a comfortable slave, then the only thing you have to do, please, you can turn this video off and go on and do what you need to do. I want to talk to those of us who are rebels, revolutionaries at heart. I want to talk to black men, women, and children who are sick and tired. I done stood all I can stand. I can't stand no more. What is the real solution? I got to get this beast off my back once and for all. A lecture about Kemet is not going to get this beast off your back. Watching Hidden Colors is not going to get this beast off your back. We know this. You have tried it and you're doing it. And the problem remains. We have become comfortable slaves, and these things make us feel better about our enslavement. Again, I was watching Hidden Colors number 3. And at the end of Hidden Colors number 3, they began to offer solution. And I'm interested in solution. So I heard his solution and her solution. But I'm waiting for this other option. A solution is missing. I heard about education and politics and all these different solutions. But there's an option that nobody wants to talk about, especially black men, because the man is supposed to be on the forefront of the battlefield. We as men supposed to lead the charge. And when we fall, then women pick up the flag. They pick up the gun. They pick up the bat. They pick up the knife. Then they move forward. And then even so, children, the last line of defense. But man is to lead that charge, so you say, so you claim. A solution is missing. What is that solution that is missing? I was watching the news, I don't know when it was, but they say this all the time. And they say that the state of Israel has the right to self-defense. Here you are. You have forced another people off their land, taken it and made it as your own, and you have the right to self-defense. So here are a bunch of criminals who have done this, and they say when they are attacked because of what they have done, they have the right to self-defense. Now, why don't they ever tell us, we who are the descendants of slaves born in America, why they don't never tell us we have the right to self-defense? How come in Hidden Colors 3, out of all the solutions, they did not say anything about us having the right to self-defense? We don't have the right to become a revolutionary. We don't have the right to rebel. During the 1960s, 50s, and 70s, when our people were attacked by dogs, our children, our women were attacked by dogs and sprayed with fire hoses and all types of evil, lynched all over this nation. If Israel has the right to self-defense, how come the so-called Negro does not have the right to defend ourselves? Every dog, every fireman with a hose, every soldier, every police officer that was involved in the murder, the harassment and the oppression of our people, we have the right to self-defense. All of them should be dead. And they should be dead in 2016 when they take our people to jail on a traffic ticket and then they are found suspiciously hung and all kinds of other things that continue to happen in 2016. Nobody is paying for the life of the so-called Negro. But Israel has the right to self-defense, but we do not. It is going on 500 years. And as black men, as a people, we have never challenged the racist Caucasian people. Never. We don't talk about self-defense. You have the right to self-defense, but 500 years, we have never. There are pockets. There is Nat Turner, and there are other slave rebellions and whatever. But as a people, as a nation within a nation of people, because of fear, because of ignorance, we have done nothing. And because we have done nothing, because we have not exercised the right of self-defense, that is why they do what they do to us, because there is no consequence. It does not matter whether we win or lose a fight. What matters is that you fight and you gain a certain amount of respect. When you have a bully, and the racist Caucasian people in this nation are nothing but a nation of bullies towards us. And the reason why they bully us is because there is no consequence. But if they killed 2 of us and we killed 5 of them, they would have to rethink their actions and their behaviors, because there's going to be a consequence. If I cry, you're going to cry. If you lynch my wife, I'm going to lynch your wife. Going on 500 years. Now, the ironic and pathetic thing about this is we will join their military and we will kill for them. We will go on TV and protect the people that are bullying us. That's a severe mental sickness that the video series Hidden Colors is trying to cure. Many of you view Dr. Martin Luther King as a coon, as a shine. Black power, family. Blackity black, you so black. You are well beyond Dr. King. Ain't did nothing in the struggle at all, period, except sit on your computer and watch videos. But you can call Dr. King a coon and a sellout and all this other nonsense. Dr. King and those brothers and sisters in the civil rights movement, their method, their strategy was nonviolence, but they were rebels. They were revolutionaries. They told these crackers to hell with your law because it's unjust. I'm going to sit in the front of the bus. I'm going to sit at these counters. My taxes is help paying for all this stuff, and you're not going to treat me like an equal. So they rebelled against the slave master and his children. You have not done anything except live off the benefits of the coon and the shine and the sellout with your black power, hypocritical, fake self. And Dr. King and all those brothers and sisters during that period of time did not have social media to help them organize or do anything. And that is why you are allowed to talk all this black conscious bull crap that you talk about, because it is no threat. It does not cause rebellion. Just a bunch of people that want to sit in front of a television, go to work and come home, beat your wife, kick the dog in the backside, and watch TV. I am so happy that LeBron James won a championship for, Cleveland. Black power don't make any sense. That's why you're no threat. And you take black women, your queens and your goddesses, and you put their naked pictures all on social media, in the swimsuits and even the porn. Black power, family. Then you go home and beat her and call her a bitch and a whore. Black power, family. This is why black men sicken my guts. This grinds my gears. It makes black men look so pathetic and pitiful. 500 years. You have a people in 2016, 30 to 70 million soul brothers and sisters in this nation, but only a little handful will attempt to do something, and then the rest benefit from what you do. And then you have the nerve, you haven't done nothing at all, then you want to talk about those who are trying. I am trying. Many other brothers and sisters are trying. Not only trying on a video, but out on the streets, because the first thing that you have to do is bring a message to destroy the slave mentality of the mind. So Hidden Colors helps do that. The teachings help do that, but these teachings, what is offered, must inspire you to become a rebel. They must inspire you to become what is called a black revolutionary. Dr. King was a black revolutionary. Malcolm X was a black revolutionary. Huey Newton and the Black Panther Party, they were revolutionaries. And they had to take some type of action, whether it was good or bad. All thing they know is they had an oppressor. We need to stop this once and for all. And they did the best that they could do. And we should have learned from them, but we have not learned from them, nor have you progressed further than what they brought us. What are you waiting on? A bunch of comfortable slaves. Don't you talk about Dr. King. You haven't done nothing. You are afraid. Only thing you want to do is go to work for the cracker. Go home and get a beer and get in somebody's panties. Again, I refer to Hidden Colors 3. It was said in Hidden Colors 3 that one of the best things that the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin done was attempt to cause a revolution among the people. And in this documentary, Hidden Colors 3, they say that the government of America don't never want to go through this again. You was on the right track. Rebellion Revolution is the answer to your and my problem in this country. Separation, not segregation, separation from these demons. So there has always been an effort, even then and even so now. The racist Caucasian people, the wicked ones in government, they make sure that they use their media to keep you docile. The preachers and the pastors, all these religions, even Islam, just keep the people docile. You talk big but won't do nothing, won't burst a grape. And they make sure that you have plenty of weed to smoke, and drugs and alcohol. Make sure that you get a lot of ding-a-ling and pool woofer. You probably don't know what those things are. The sex. Make sure that you sex out of your mind. A lot of porno for you to watch. Make sure you're entertained. The Housewives of Atlanta. Whatever TV show that you like. Plenty of basketball to watch. And they smile in your face and offer you false friendship. Here you go. Just a few years ago, a black man would get hung quick for looking at the panties of a Caucasian pink woman hanging on a line. And now he gives that Caucasian woman to you. Here you go. It's not our best. It's our trash. Here you go, Negro. Thank you, Massa. I'm so glad you gave me Becky Sue. Me and Becky Sue, we's in love. Me's and Becky Sue, we in love for real. Not because I was a slave. Because I loves Becky Sue. And Becky Sue loves me. Another man will not respect you until you fight back. Until you earn his respect. He's a bully. You don't see him, these Caucasian people, they don't jump on folks they know can give them a whooping. They don't do that. They always attack those they know can hardly defend themselves. That's a bully. That's why you see the children. The children reflect their parents. The parents are bullies, and you have a nation of children that are bullies. I had a bully as a child. In fact, I was bullied from the 3rd grade all the way till I was a junior in high school. But it really didn't get real bad until I was a freshman in high school. And the only way that it came to an end, not because I went to the bully's parents, went to the school principal, we went to the police. Nothing worked. I had to take the situation under control. Unfortunately, I had to turn to violence. And when I brought violence, that ended that bully crap that I suffered since the 3rd grade. I was afraid. I was scared. And I told that bully, you can beat me up, but you're going to have to beat me up every day. You can beat me up, but Mr. Bully, you're going to have to sit on the toilet. And when you sit on the toilet, somebody might come in that stall with a knife and get that stabbing you. Mr. Bully, you're going to turn your back. And when you turn your back, there's a baseball bat and a concrete block. We're going to fight every day until you leave me the hell alone. This is the attitude that you got to have. Because if you don't, no matter what you do, no matter what you get, then the bully will come take my lunch money. Then the bully will take my school supplies. The bully will continue to do all these different things until I show the bully Not here. Not here. So you can build a school and you can have all these businesses. And the only thing all this stuff does is make you comfortable in your racism, because your bully continues to do what they're going to do. They're going to continue to discriminate, continue to put you up in jail, and they know that you're innocent. And all the different evils that they do to us every day, that's going to continue, and you got a business. Do you remember Black Wall Street? All that work, beautiful success, and within a few minutes, it was gone. And there was no consequence to those who bombed and killed and murdered, probably even raped. There was no consequence to them. So the same thing continues today. You want to build this and do that and be independent. So at any time your bully can come and take it from you, because he knows you're not gonna do nothing. Look, y'all punkified sissies, you're not gonna do nothing. What's the sense of building something and you can't protect it? There was a scene in this movie called The Great Debaters with Denzel Washington and Forrest Whitaker. And Forrest Whitaker was a father. He had children and a wife. He was a professor, I believe, at a school or something to that effect. I forgot what his occupation was. Anyway, he's driving down the road and mess around and hit this pig, hit this hog. And this Caucasian man and his friend come out of nowhere with their shotgun. Hey there, boy. You killed my hog. I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't see the pig. I'll be happy to pay for it. Yeah? What? And they gave these racists his whole paycheck that the pig was not worth. And the son, see, you don't understand, black man, soul brothers, you don't understand the effect our cowardice is having on your women and your children, and you wonder why the black woman complains, and you wonder why she don't respect you, because you don't and have not earned respect. She watching you all scary. This is not all of us, because there are many of you who are revolutionaries. There are many of you who are rebels, who are ready to take care of business, but you got a bunch of sycophantic punks that you are allowing yourself to listen to that keep you docile. When you and I know that you have the right to self-defense and it's time to take care of business, we understand that you're dealing with an enemy. They have nuclear weapons and all this stuff of mass destruction. But we also must understand you have the right to self-defense. You have people like in Palestine, they taking ordinary rocks and throwing the rocks at a tank. You know that rock can't do nothing with that tank, but this shows you their desire. And whether you know it or not, Israel do respect the Palestinians, although they know they can keep them in check with force, but they respect them people because those people fight them back and don't have nothing. You have no respect at all, period. None. Nobody respects you in America. Nobody respects you around the world. So when you see people in Palestine throwing rocks at a tank, you see people all over the world, they show their support and their sympathy towards these people in this struggle. And the same thing could happen to us, but we're a bunch of punkified sissies waiting on spaceships and aliens and whatever to come and save us. So the son is looking at his father, Forrest Whitaker. Wow, you know. Not only did Forrest Whitaker give these racist demons his whole paycheck. Then the crackers turn around and asked him, well, told him, you're going to help us put the pig in the truck. So he reached down, put his hands on the pig and helped them move the dead pig out of the road. How humiliating. How odd. See, you have no honor. You keep talking all this man stuff, but you're not a man. And they know this. But later on, the son, I don't know how the conversation, how it happened, but the son had a conversation with Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington was a rebel, trying to organize the farmers and things to try to get a union together or whatever. And at that particular time, the government and so many people was against people organizing labor. And so he talked to Denzel Washington and came home late. And the father, who just gave his whole paycheck to a pig farmer, old dirty, racist pig farmer, hey son, why you late? Daddy, I don't want to talk about it. Was you out with that girl? No, Daddy. Well, what you was doing? So he's going to try to make here's a father that was just punked out by a pig farmer. Now you want to make demands on your son. And the argument got to the point where the son said, you didn't do all that and say all that with that pig farmer. Then the father slapped the son. See, this is how it is when we are dealing with people and individuals that suffer abuse. Study what abuse is, and you will see the same thing in a people, because the so-called Negro, these of whom I call the descendants of slaves born in America, we have been in an abusive relationship going on 500 years. And when a person is abused, I want you to listen to me now. When a person is abused, they create a world of their own where there is no abuser. They create a fantasy world. Some of them have these invisible friends. And that's what you see in the so-called black community. We have all these invisible friends. Some of them come out of space and we can do these incredible things. We are gods and goddesses and kings and queens in our mind. That's not reality. But when you suffer abuse, you create a fantasy world for yourself so that you can handle and deal with the abuse that you suffer. Another thing about people who, and I know this because, like I told you, I was bullied for years. This is the ironic and sad and pathetic thing about a person that suffers abuse. They will not do nothing and have extreme fear towards the abuser. I would do nothing against my abuser except cry. Why are you doing this to me? And I was scared. When I saw my bully, I would turn back the other way and run. But now, when I got home and my mother told me to do something I didn't want to do it, here I am. Oh, I buck up, talk all kinds of big crap to my mother. I have no fear of my mother and my siblings. I would fight one of my siblings with everything that I got. We were beating you up. Why didn't I fight my bully? Why didn't I challenge my bully the same way I rebelled against my mother and would fight my siblings? Why didn't I do any of that to my bully? This is a sign of mental sickness. This is a sign of illness. Because of fear. I did not fear my siblings and I did not fear my mother, but I feared what this bully would do to me. until it got to the point where I didn't care. I did not care about dying. I did not care if he hit me in my eye or whatever that this guy wanted to do to me. I said, that's when things changed. And I did not have to worry about a bully anymore. So later on in the story, The Great Debaters, the father gains some of that respect back because his son saw him do something that was brave. They had arrested Denzel Washington and put Denzel Washington in jail. And this young boy's father, Forrest Whitaker, went to the sheriff and told him, look, you need to let that man go. And he sort of threatened him with some of the things that he knew. And that racist sheriff, you threatening me, boy? No, I'm not threatening you. I'm just letting you know there's certain things that could be told. And you might have a problem, sheriff, if you don't let that man go. And when that sheriff thought about the consequence, there is no consequence for killing black people in America. But when there's a consequence, then that raggedy sheriff talking a bunch of stuff like he big and tough, he still took his sissified self back in that room and let Denzel Washington go. And you ought to see that the son of Forrest Whitaker, he was so proud of his father. And that pig farmer was there because that pig farmer was part of that movement to unionize the people there. And then that son went to that pig farmer and told that pig farmer, you owe my daddy some money. See, that's what it's all about. It is fear that's keeping us in a slave-like condition. It's fear that's keeping you from going beyond this nation and building your own nation. Somebody give you some land. It's nothing but jungle. You have to be brave enough to go out there and domesticate that land and make it work for you. Y'all want to go and y'all want a nation where you have the internet, running water, and all the things that make you comfortable. You will never be a nation of people. You comfortable Negroes. You are afraid of these races. I don't care how big and bad they are. Everybody, everything has a weak spot. Here you are, you live in this nation. You know you are outgunned. So your strategy has to be a bit different. There will be times where you don't have no choice. You have to go for the gun. But there are many things that you can do. And the Black Panther Party was an example for the things that we could do in rebellion, in revolution. They went to the law books. Not only do you have to have soldiers on the ground, but we should also have soldiers in the law books. Make these crackers change their laws. Make them go to court, clog the legal system up, sue these crackers for everything. It is not too late to take these bastards to the United Nations like Malcolm X wanted to do. It's not too late. Whatever you can do, this is what Malcolm X meant by any means necessary. Bite, scratch, kick, whatever you have to do. Don't be afraid. One of our number one problems is that we don't view ourselves as a people. We don't view ourselves as brothers and sisters. And we have never done that since we were freed all those hundreds of years ago. When the slaves were physically free and let out the plantation, this group went that way, that group went another way. Some of them stayed on the plantation. They never saw themselves as a people. Nothing but a bunch of slaves that didn't know what to do went in all kinds of directions. There was never no attempt to unify as a people. So we have never been a people. That's why it's very difficult hundreds of years later to unite. Everybody is in their own separate tribes. The Hebrew Israelite tribe, the Kemetic tribe, the Black Muslim tribe, whatever tribe. I'm just an American tribe. Whatever tribe you find yourself in, that's the reason why nobody respects us, because we are divided. So if the Black Muslims are attacked, you don't care. That's on them. You don't see them as a part of yourself. And the enemy knows this. And we are so stupid, we don't know how to come together based on what is in the best interest of the common good and the common purpose. We want people to adopt our religion, our political beliefs or whatever. I'm not interested in Jesus. I'm not interested in Muhammad. I'm not interested in having a third eye. Well, brother, you know about the third eye? I only care about the two eyes. And then there are those of you, y'all fly out your body and all these other, the beliefs is countless. I'm not interested in that. I just want us to be liberated. I want us to be free. And you can do whatever you want to. I mean, that's on you. The Caucasian people are different. You have Mormons, you have Christian Caucasians, you have pedophiles, you have whatever difference you have in them. But if you attack the United States of America, all of them will come together, no matter what they are, and they will fight you like hell. This is the mentality that the so-called Negro, the descendants of slaves, born in America, having dark skin, the people of soul, that's what you and I must have. When you are involved in revolution, one of the first things that you must do, you already know about your enemy, but you must clean your own house first. There are a bunch of enemies within that are internal. I believe it was during the Chinese Revolution. It had got to the point where people were killing their fathers and mothers and sisters and brothers and uncles who were against the revolution. Unfortunately, when you are trying to be free, when you're trying to establish and become an independence and gain respect for yourself as a people, and you have people inside your own self that is fighting this, it must be done. So, mama, I love you, but if you are fighting against me, when I'm trying to be a man, when I'm trying to develop and build something for us as a people, I guess maybe you could tie them up or something. Unfortunately, they are in the way. They have become your enemy. They are siding with your enemy who wants to keep you a slave. Dang, mama, daddy, brother, sister, why y'all want to keep us a slave? I love you, but you got to go. I love you, but you got to go. What is a slave? A slave is a person that is a tool of somebody else. A slave's life only benefits his or her master. The forefathers of this nation understood that. They understood that a slave only exists for the benefit of his or her master. So here you have George Washington, Patrick Henry, Ben Franklin, and all the patriots during that period of time. And they were looking at themselves. They are fighting the Native American people, the snakes and the bad weather. They are doing all the work, but England is getting all the benefits. And they got sick of it because they saw themselves as a slave. Unfortunately, they didn't care about the feelings of other people, so they forced themselves and made slaves out of other folks, which is ironic. And they are still paying for that till this day because they won't be open and honest with themselves about the situation, the reality of the situation that they are in. But George Washington, Patrick Henry, Ben Franklin, and these guys, Thomas Jefferson, and the nation itself, the majority of the nation, was sick and tired of doing all the work. And England getting all the benefits. And then, of course, it got to the point where something kicked it off. And, of course, the Revolutionary War began. And it went on for years. It went on for years. Start the revolution, it would go on for years. But if you do it right, be persistent, be sincere, express tenacity, and brothers and sisters, we will win. Because the enemy is a bully and they don't want to suffer the consequence for their actions. So George Washington. So the modern day racists, they know about hidden colors. In fact, I saw a news story, and the Caucasian people, they were talking about hidden colors. So they are helping Taalik Nasheed promote hidden colors. And the reason why they are going to help Taalik Nasheed promote hidden colors is because hidden colors is not a threat. It's educational. It's entertainment. That's why the enemy will help you promote hidden colors. And they know that there was a Hidden Colors 1, a Hidden Colors 2. It did not do anything to inspire rebellion or revolution. It's not a threat. You have brothers and sisters that keep you docile, that keep you a comfortable slave, that keep telling you these fairy tale stories about you a god and a goddess, but you have no power. You a king and a queen, no country or nation to rule. You the original man supposed to be the best, and you are at the welfare office getting food stamps. And you've been in this condition going on 500 years, but you are melanated, and that makes you special. But yet and still, your special ass, well, you special. You are mentally retarded. You belong in special ed. That's the only special that's about us. And you are especially afraid. You are especially in fear. If you're not talking rebellion, if you're not talking revolution, and the only thing that you're doing is keeping the descendants of slaves born in America comfortable in racism, you really need to shut the hell up. There's no place for you. However, now, if you want to be a good slave, and there are some of us who will admit, I don't care, man. Well, I'm just living my life. If you call me a good slave, well, I just be a good slave. Okay, if you could admit and confess that, what can I say to you? You're a comfortable slave. You have accepted that. Cool. There's nothing I can tell you. But there are so many of you who claim black revolution, power, and all this, the white man is the devil, bang on that beast, and all this other stuff that y'all be hollering about. But you're not going to burst the grape. The only thing you're going to do is go to the next lecture. What lecture did black revolutionary or any revolutionary, what lecture were they going to? The only lecture they was going to is meeting in secret to plan the action against the enemy. That's the only thing they want to hear. They don't care nothing about Well, you know the mothership is going to come and drop bombs. And brother, if you study, you can fly out of your body. So when you fly out of your body, I'll kick your body off the table. So while you're waiting on spaceship, the American government waiting to shoot the spaceship in the backside. And these aliens and whatever, all this crazy fantasy stuff, because you and I, we are the people of abuse, living in these fantasy worlds. Do we really need black conscious teaching? You really don't need black conscious teaching. You need to understand who you are and what we become. These black conscious teachers trying to make you into something that you never was. You an Egyptian. And you are this and that, you know, the tribe of Shabazz. You don't know nobody from no tribe of Shabazz. You don't know nobody. You personally don't know, have never known a Hebrew Israelite or nobody from Kemet. All this fantasy stuff that y'all come up with. You don't even know your history in America. But you can tell me about what somebody was doing 5,000 years ago. The only black conscious teachings that you really need is understand you're not a European and you're living under oppression. Really, that's all that you need to know. All this other stuff and all this extracurriculum activity, you really don't need. All thing I need to know is I'm not a European. These Europeans are my enemies in here, unless they can prove they are not an enemy. And they are oppressing me. And I need to get this sucker off my back once and for all. That's all you really need to know. And you become a rebel, you become a revolutionary. And you, once you get this sucker off your back, then you use your creative mind. Actually, you use your creative mind in the process of dealing with this beast. And you use your creative mind, your imagination, to produce your own vision. Use your own imagination to produce your vision for the destiny of your people. All this other stuff is extra curriculum activity, and we have to learn not to pull the cart before the horse. You put the horse in the front, and the cart comes last. Food, clothing, and shelter must be secured before how a school or you must protect whatever you build. You must form a military, be able to protect what you build. You must form friendships that can help you do these things. That is why Fidel Castro, even though he's on a small island, he connected with Russia and China and these big guys to help, so that he could find somebody to help him protect his nation. And then he sends his soldiers to South America, whatever. You know, you have an alliance. You help. I'm a little guy, but I do whatever I can. If you give me a little protection, give me a little help, big fella. We shouldn't need that. We live in the house of a big guy. But this big guy is a bully, and he's our enemy until proven. Maybe we can do something to change that. I really doubt it. Try it. But when it's all said and done, we must become rebels. We must become revolutionaries. Otherwise, we will remain in this horror condition, and it can even get even worse. And as a man, how can you live knowing that your children will continue to live this way? Jot down your comments. Let's talk about this. Your brother, Angel Snubbed Up 7. Like Don Cornelius say, until next time, love, peace, and soul.